الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This is a series that I have made in order to show you guys the wonders of the Arabic language, in order to show you what the Arabic language can actually hold and what it does, and how can we use that in order to get closer to the Quran and Sunnah. And that's the goal of us learning the Arabic language, is that we are here learning this science, and inshallah we're getting rewarded for learning the science in order to understand the Quran and Sunnah, and that's when we'll get rewarded. So just to give you a bit of background for what we're going to do, inshallah ta'ala, after the Muslims started opening up other countries and conquering them and giving them Islam, giving them da'wah, and them becoming Muslims, a lot of foreigners started to come into Islam. And as you know, Islam is a religion which primarily everything is in the Arabic language. The Quran is in the Arabic language, the Sunnah is in the Arabic language. The athar of the Sahaba are also in the Arabic language. So it was needed for them to learn the Arabic language, for the foreigners. When they started learning the Arabic language, there was a lot of mistakes and mix-ups that were happening. And because up till now, the tradition of the Arabs was that they would not write down the Arabic language. Rather, what they would do is they would pass it down orally. So everybody who was Arab, they knew instinctively what good Arabic was, what a mistake was, and what bad Arabic was. But the foreigners didn't, because they weren't born Arab, they weren't born in this language. So the need for authorship of the principles and the rules of the Arabic language was now present. Then people, scholars, they started coming and they started writing down rules and principles for the Arabic language. Some of the sciences that were born during this time, or rather put down into writing, was the science of Nahu, which is all about finding what the end of the word is and how does it affect the meaning. The science of Sarf, which was basically a construction of the word. If you have a word, how is it constructed? Why is it constructed like that? And what significance does it have on its meaning? And then you have the science of ishtirak, which is you have the same word, but you have different meanings depending on the context. Then you have the science of taraduf, where you had different words, but it was the same or similar meaning between those two words. And even then, like if you look up there, there's a book called Al-Furuq fil Lugha. It's all about this science at taraduf. What is the difference between things that are similar, right? And then you have the science of at-tathlith. Now, the science of at-tathlith is all about having a word that is the same letters. The only thing that changes is the harakat in the beginning of the word. So you would have a word, and the only thing that would change is the fatha, kasra, dhamma for the beginning letter of the word. And based on that change, it would mean different things. All right? Now, the person who put down this science is a scholar by the name of Abu Ali Muhammad ibn al-Mustanir. He was from Basra, and he died in 206 Hijriya, after the Hijrah of the Prophet. His name is, or rather, he was known by Al-Imam Al-Quturbi, Al-Imam Al-Quturb. Rather, he was known by Al-Imam Al-Quturb, and he was from the students of Al-Imam Al-Sibawayhi. So, as we said in the beginning, as we get into the science, I'm going to relate everything back to the Quran and Sunnah. as much as I can, for whatever I can. Every single word, I'm going to try my best to give you an example from the Quran or the Sunnah to show you that our purpose for learning the Arabic language, our purpose for learning all of these things, is that we understand the Quran and the Sunnah based on the Arabic language. And if we do not understand and if we do not know the Arabic language, it is very difficult for us as foreigners, as even the Arabs of this generation, it is difficult for us to understand the Quran and Sunnah if we do not understand the language by which the Prophet ﷺ spoke and the Sahaba. All right? So let's get into it, inshallah ta'ala. So I'm going to be basing my explanation on some poetry by the name of Al-Mushkil Al-Muthallath. I believe this is the name of the poetry. It's a very famous poem. And that is where my explanation will be based on. But again, you can go and you can do your research. I'm not going to be going through the poetry word by word, but I'm going to bring out lines and we're going to relate the words that we're taking back to those lines, inshallah ta'ala. All right? So the first line that we're going to take is الغمر ماء غزر الغمر حقد ستر الغمر ذو جهل سرى فيه ولم يجرب. So let's go to the whiteboard and I'll show you which words we're taking. We have الغمر ماء غزر الغمر حقد ستر, and we have الغمر, or you can say الغمر ذو جهل سرى فيه ولم يجرب. So the words that we're taking is al-ghamru, al-ghamru, and the poet, he said that it is ma'un ghazura, ma'un ghazura, ma'un ghazura, al-ghamru ma'un ghazura. Then the second word that we're taking is al-ghimru, al-ghimru حقد ستر, حقد ستر. Then the third word that we're going to take, inshallah ta'ala, is al-ghumru, al-ghumru. And the author, he said, the poet, he said, it is ذو جهل سرى فيه ولم يجرب. So, al-ghamru. So, al-ghamru is ma'un ghazura. What does ma'un ghazura mean? Ma'un ghazura is like water that covers you. That when you go inside it, it covers you. So what the author is talking about here is a river which has the ability to cover you when you go inside it because of how much it's gushing, because of how much, like, it's just throwing out water, it's gushing, so it has the ability to cover you. Now, ghamrun, the word, can be used for anything that covers you. It can be used for a cloak, it can be used for a shirt, it can be used for a river, it can be used for anything that is covering you. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, and this is a hadith recorded in Sahih Muslim, مثل الصلوات الخمس كمثل جار غمر على باب أحدكم يغتسل منه كل يوم 5 مرات. That the example of the 5 daily prayers is like the example of a river. Is like the example of a river that is gushing. It's throwing forward. And that river is on your door. It's on your doorstep. So if you come out from your house, it's right there. And you are washing yourself in that river 5 times every day. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. Right? I want to ask you guys a question. If you wash yourself from a gushing river, you just jump into the gushing river one time, you get fully washed, right? So how about if you jump into it 5 times a day, every single day? And the Prophet ﷺ is saying that the 5 daily prayers is like this river. Now, I want you guys to notice one thing, is that we understood a deeper layer of the hadith just from our understanding of the word al-ghamr. Al-ghamr. Just from our understanding of the word al-ghamr, we understood a deeper layer of the hadith. There's a line of poetry that I want to bring you guys as well, that I wrote down over here. The poet, he says, غمر الرداء إذا تبسم ضاحكا غلقت لضحكته رقاب المال. That a person, and this is in praise, this poetry, this line of poetry, is praising a person who's really generous. He's saying that غمر الرداء, the covering of a person's cloak, is overflowing, it's gushing out when he smiles or when he laughs. When he laughs and when he smiles, his cloak is gushing out from the money that's flowing out. That's what he means. غَلِقَتْ لِضِحْكَتِهِ رِقَابَ الْمَالِ. That the neck of wealth, he's talking as if wealth is a person. He's saying that the neck of wealth is being squeezed and it's being shut because of the person's laughter. As in, the person is giving so much money because of his laughter that wealth itself, his neck is squeezing. Do you understand? And we have another example, inshallah ta'ala, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying in Surah Al-Mu'minun, ayah 54, I believe, فَذَرْهُمْ فِي غَمْرَتِهِمْ حَتَّى حِينٍ. That Allah is saying about the kuffar, about the disbelievers, so leave them in their coverings until a time. And Mujahid said it was till death. Leave them in their coverings until a time. Mujahid said it's till death. Now, ghamratihim over here is a covering, but in the context of the ayah, and this is how you can understand what ghamr means. In the context of the ayah, it means leave them in their falsehood, in their misguidance, until a time comes, until their death comes. Now, I want you to understand, every single translation I've checked of this ayah, I haven't gone through all of them, but from the translations that I've checked, every single one said, so leave them in their confusion. Just by understanding the word ghamr is to do with something that's covering a person, you've now gone into a deeper meaning of this ayah. فَذَرْهُمْ فِي غَمْرَتِهِمْ حَتَّى حِينٍ. It's like the falsehood is covering them, and is not letting them come out. Do you understand? The second word that we're taking today is al-ghimr. Al-ghimr. And the author, he says that it is hiqdun sutira. Al-ghimr is hiqdun sutira. Hatred, hiqd is a hatred that you have in your heart. But this hatred is concealed, it's covered within your heart. The Prophet ﷺ said, and this is a hadith reported by Al-Imam Ahmed in his Musnad, لا تجوز شهادة خائن ولا خائنة ولا محدود في الإسلام ولا ذي غمر على أخيه ولا ذي غمر على أخيه. Look, the Prophet ﷺ is saying over here, it's not permissible for a person who is treacherous, male or female, who is treacherous, to bear witness, neither for a criminal in Islam to bear witness, or a person who has concealed hatred for his brother. He's not allowed to bear witness as well. We do not take their witnesses. And again, وَلَا ذِي غِمْرٍ عَلَى أَخِيهِ. You understand a deeper meaning of this hadith just from the word you now learned, which is al-ghimr. It's a concealed hatred that you have for a person in your heart. The next word that we're taking is al-ghumru. Al-ghumru, you can say al-ghumru and you can say al-ghumuru. Al-ghumru. It is, and the author, the poet, he says, ذو جهل سرى فيه ولم يجرب. That a person, al-ghumru is a person who is ignorant. A person who is ignorant, who has never had any sort of experience in his life. Or any sort of, yeah, he's never been experienced in his life. Bashar ibn al-Burd, Bashar ibn Burd, he said about Al-Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib radiyallahu anhum, and this is in praise of him. He said, مجادلة دون النبي بسيفه بوادي حنين غير وان ولا غمر, or ولا غمر. So look at this. He says, مجادلة دون النبي بسيفه, that he's fighting and he's striking in front of the Prophet ﷺ, in defense of the Prophet ﷺ, with the sword. بوادي حنين, in the valley of Hunayn. غير وان, not weak. He's not weak. He doesn't have a weak strike. His hand is tough and it's strong. ولا غمر, and it's his strikes and his fighting is not inexperienced. He's a person who has tajarrud. He's a person who has a lot of experience in fighting. And he's saying this in praise of Al-Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib. Al-Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib. He's saying this in praise of him. Radiyallahu anhu. So that's it for today, inshallah ta'ala. Just to recap, the first word that we took is al-ghamru, which is ma'un ghazura, which is gushing water. And that's for you to understand, or for you to remember, that it's anything that covers you. It's anything that is covering of you. So it can be a cloak, it can be anything like that. Al-ghimru hiqdun sutira, it's a concealed hatred in your heart. And al-ghumru ذو جهل سرى فيه ولم يجرب, it's a person who's ignorant and has never experienced anything in his life. Now, if you notice over here, all these three words have to do with the idea of covering. It has to do with the idea that something is being covered. The first one, it is something that covers you. The second one, it's a hatred that's covered in your heart. The third one, he's covered from knowledge. He's like a newborn. You know, when a person is born, they've never experienced knowledge in their life. So they're inexperienced. So he's covered from experience, if that makes sense. So all these three words, and this is a common theme that we'll find later on as we go through these words, is that every single word, even though they have difference in meaning, the foundation of the meaning is the same. And I'll leave you there, inshallah ta'ala. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. If you like the video, if you would like to continue with this series, inshallah ta'ala, hit a like, comment. If you have any specific corrections you wanted me to make, or if I got something wrong. If you'd like to see something else, please comment away and subscribe to the channel. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.